Those green and yellow for display-only signs that became common during the pandemic are disappearing from Rolex boutiques. Popular models like the Daytona or Submariner were almost never in stock. Customers often had to join multi-year waitlists. Dealers might require purchase history, buying less desirable models first. We interviewed several authorized dealers who requested anonymity about how these changes are affecting their business, and this is what they said: the shrinking wait times. One of the most noticeable changes for consumers is reduced wait times, 2021 versus 2025. Walking into a Rolex boutique today feels different than it did just a few years ago. The atmosphere has shifted. Once empty display cases are slowly filling up, the frustrating exhibition-only signs are disappearing, and perhaps most surprisingly, the gold watches that were nearly impossible to find are now sitting available. This isn't just a minor market adjustment. We're witnessing a fundamental transformation in how Rolex watches are bought, sold, and valued. For the average person interested in buying their first Rolex or adding to their collection, these changes create both opportunities and challenges. The 2025 price list tells part of the story, with gold Daytonas jumping 19% while steel models barely move. But the real story is what's happening behind the scenes. This video will walk you through every aspect of the current Rolex market, explaining in simple terms what's changed, why it matters, and how you can navigate this new landscape as a buyer. The basics of Rolex's market position. What makes Rolex special? Before we dive into the current changes, it's important to understand why Rolex occupies such a unique position in the watch world. Unlike most luxury items that lose value the moment you buy them, Rolex watches have historically held their value exceptionally well, with some models even appreciating over time. This phenomenon stems from several key factors. Brand recognition. Rolex is arguably the most recognizable luxury watch brand in the world. Production control. They carefully limit production numbers to maintain exclusivity. Quality and reliability. Their watches are built to last generations with proper care. Design consistency. Models retain their core aesthetic over decades, the traditional Rolex buying experience. Until recently, buying a Rolex from an authorized dealer AD followed a predictable pattern. Popular models like the Daytona or Submariner were almost never in stock. Customers often had to join multi-year waitlists. Dealers might require purchase history, buying less desirable models first. Secondary market prices were significantly higher than retail. This created an environment where getting the Rolex you wanted often required patience, persistence, and sometimes paying premium prices. Drastic price changes took place just in 4 months of this year, and Rolex's 2025 price adjustments reveal some surprising trends. Gold models, Daytona, yellow gold, is now priced at $49,000, up 19% from 2024. Day-Date 40, yellow gold, $38,500, up 15%. Sky Dweller, yellow gold, $42,000, up 12%. Steel models, Submariner, no date, $9,800, up 2.6%. GMT Master 2, $10,200, up 3.1%. Explorer 2, $8,900, up 1.8%. Why such different increases? The disparity between gold and steel price adjustments tells us several things. Rolex is pushing precious metal models harder. They're trying to maintain steel models' relative affordability. There's a strategic rebalancing of the product lineup. On the other hand, there was a huge secondary market shakeup. One of the most surprising developments is what's happening with gold Rolex watches on the secondary market. Let's compare retail and secondary market prices. Gold Daytona, retail $49,000, secondary $42,000. Gold Submariner, retail $36,000, secondary $31,000. Platinum Day-Date, retail $58,000, secondary $48,000. This means if you buy a new gold Rolex from an authorized dealer, you could lose $5,000 to $10,000 immediately if you tried to resell it. Why this is happening? Several factors contribute to this unusual situation. Increased production of precious metal models, economic uncertainty making big purchases less appealing, investors pulling out of the watch market, changing consumer preferences towards steel sports models, inside the authorized dealer network, dealer challenges in the new market, We interviewed several authorized dealers who requested anonymity about how these changes are affecting their business, and this is what they said. Inventory issues. Before, we couldn't keep gold watches in stock. Now we have multiple pieces sitting for months, shared a London-based dealer. Meanwhile, steel models sell within days of arrival. Profit margin squeeze. A New York dealer explained, "Our margin on a gold watch was typically 35 to 40%. On steel, it's more like 15 to 20%. With Rolex sending us more steel than gold now, our overall profitability is taking a hit." Customer behavior changes. People are much more informed about secondary market prices, noted a Hong Kong dealer. They come in knowing exactly what a watch sells for pre-owned and won't pay retail unless they have to. The purchase history game changes. Previously, building a relationship with an AD often meant buying less popular models first, establishing purchase history, eventually getting access to more desirable pieces. Now, as one dealer admitted, that system isn't working like it used to. Customers refuse to buy gold watches they don't want when they can get them cheaper elsewhere. Waitlists and availability. The shrinking wait times. One of the most noticeable changes for consumers is reduced wait times. 2021 versus 2025 comparison: Submariner 5 years, 1.5 year. GMT Master 2, 6+ years to 2 years. Daytona, Steel, 6+ years to 2 years. Still the longest wait. The end of exhibition only. Those green and yellow for display only signs that became common during the pandemic are disappearing from Rolex boutiques. This signals improved inventory levels, reduced artificial scarcity, a shift in Rolex's retail strategy. Now let me tell you what this means for buyers. Depending on what you're looking for, let's discuss the current best approaches. For steel sports models, be patient, waitlists are shrinking. Build a genuine relationship with an AD. Avoid overpaying on the secondary market. For gold precious metal models, consider buying pre-owned to save significantly. Be aware of immediate depreciation. Negotiate with ADs, discounts may be possible. For collectors, focus on wearing rather than flipping. Look for discontinued or special models. Consider this a buying opportunity as prices stabilize. The future of the Rolex market. Expert predictions. Industry analysts anticipate several developments. Production adjustments. Rolex will likely rebalance toward more steel models. Retail changes. AD networks may consolidate as profitability changes. Secondary market stabilization. Prices will find a new equilibrium. Consumer benefits. More availability and less gamesmanship. While the speculative frenzy may be over, Rolex remains one of the strongest luxury brands in the world. The current changes represent a return to more traditional market conditions rather than any fundamental weakness in the brand. For genuine watch enthusiasts, these market changes are ultimately positive. The artificial scarcity and speculative excesses of recent years are giving way to a more balanced environment where wait times are reasonable, prices are stabilizing, the focus returns to wearing and enjoying watches. While investors who hoped for quick profits may be disappointed, those who appreciate Rolex watches for what they are, exceptionally well-made timepieces, will find this new market much more welcoming and accessible.